right, welcome back, everyone. Basim here with Tyler. He's representing internationally again. He's an international correspondent, of course, kicking off the season with that. And our next special guest for this beta break, Simon Hibbeler. What's up, Simon?
Hello, everyone.
All right, Simon is the winner on the male side for the final Frontier finals at Frontier Climbing in South Dakota. Hell yeah. We're done with the East Coast. We're on our way west. So I'm really excited to kick off this very first beta break with Simon and also just, get to talk about just climbing in general and moving across and, of course, the final frontier. But before we get into it, Simon, can you let those people who aren't in the know about who you are and what you're all about, who you are, where you're from, a little bit of bragging about what you've achieved?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm Simon. I'm 26, almost 27, so ancient in the climbing world. I grew up in Des Moines, Iowa, but I've spent under half of my, climbing age in Des Moines. I moved out to Colorado for almost 7 years, but then I've kind of been pinging around the U.S. I've moved a lot. I've pinged around the U.S. for a while, but all in pursuit of, climbing. I've got all my bibs and stuff from competitions over the years. I've been to 6 World Cups, 7 international competitions. One of those was Youth Worlds, and then 5 World Cups, and then Pan Am's just last February. That's probably wrong too. I think it was February. It was 9 months ago.
Yeah, it was.
Sure. Yeah. We'll just say 9 months ago.
There you go.
And I've podiumed 5 North American Cup, or no, I podiumed 8 North American Cups. I've won 3. Yeah, I've been in it a long time. I've been around. Climbed V14 outside, although interestingly, that's not that impressive anymore. That's kind of getting done. That's not true. It's impressive.
Hell yeah.
It's definitely impressive. That's just my perception of it. It's dang, it's not 15, 16, 17.
Yeah, the bar.
Yeah, I've been competing 12 years. I've been at it a long time.
Awesome. Excellent. So, Tyler, I'm sure you have some questions right after.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I think Basim and I can relate to the idea of V14 maybe not feeling so impressive anymore. I've been competing for 15 years, and V15 was the cap at the time. And V15, I don't think gets you close to a sponsorship these days, and that's been a bummer. But that's okay. Progression of the sport, fun.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's a very weird thing that, not even 10 years ago, V15 was oh shit, this guy, this guy's the next thing. But now, when it's done and someone just posts it to their story. I think I saw Sean Bailey posted him doing floating to his story, and that was it. Yeah. And it's okay, well, I guess. Nice.
Yeah. That also just seems like a very Sean Bailey thing to do.
Yeah.
As, be Mr. Humble about his achievements. And floating is a really cool climb as well. Seems worthy of the post, but I digress.
It's pretty bizarre.
Yeah. So, you're somebody who's kind of watched the sport grow over the last decade plus, but you also, interestingly, like you said, you come from Iowa, which is not one of the hotbeds of climbing in the U.S. People stereotypically think of Colorado, California. In more recent years, it's been Utah. Team Texas was hot for a while. More recently, I'll give some credit to the Northeast. We've put out a couple strong ones, but Midwestern states, Iowa or South Dakota, places like that don't get as much recognition as some of those other places. What has the climbing scene been like? How has it changed? I just want to know all things Midwestern climbing.
The Iowa scene is I feel like the Midwest scene is interesting. I talk about this with my boss, coach, friend. It's the climbing industry. That's just kind of how it seems to line up to be. Tends to be all the things. And the Midwest scene, we've produced, Kyra's from Minneapolis, and everyone knows Kyra, and Noah Ridge, I don't know if that name rings a bell at all. Sam Struthers, I don't know if that name rings a bell. Like he's kind of dropped off the face of the earth, probably got like a real job and probably got a real job and is making good money. But the Midwest is a very like insulated environment where even between like when athletes go to regionals, they could like smash it at regionals, they could go to divisionals, they could smash it at divisionals, but then they could go get steamrolled at nationals. And I think like because the Midwest is like it's pretty expansive and so few gyms, few and far between, like that's sort of changing as time has gone on. But like for a long time when I grew up, it was just Climb Iowa and then a few like vertical endeavors up here. But Colorado, if you looked at Colorado at the time, it had Movement, BRC, ABC, Cats, The Spot, and then there was like the Denver Rock Club. I think that's what it's called in Denver. And there was just way more gyms. But in Iowa, I had to travel quite a ways to go get any other gyms. So I think like the Midwest scene can produce some crushers, but I think you have to be a little crazier to want to stick through it because you have so much, like you don't have rock really. Like Iowa certainly doesn't have rock. So the only thing you have is the gym. You have gym and competitions. And if competitions don't do it for you, then most people just drop out of the sport. So I think it takes, Sean, actually, another person that the Midwest has produced, Sean, who plays second and is arguably the most accomplished tension boarder in the world, which is an interesting thing that we get to distinguish that now. You just kind of grind away, and that grind can be like not really a grind, or it can be very grindy and very ambiguous if you're actually improving or not, because the culture just is so much smaller and anyone who loves climbing moves. So you have this like, oh my God, this thing is so cool. And then either those people decide that they want to stay in the climbing industry and they leave, or they stay, or they just seem to stop climbing. That seems to be that's what I did. I got into climbing, fell in love with it, decided that it was going to be my thing, and then moved to Colorado. But most people either don't have that luxury or don't have like a parent who's willing to move them, or most people just don't want to like just stay in the gym for eternity until like maybe something happens. But I think we could go into like, I think that's changing now, especially with boards. I think boards have really changed everything. So that's kind of the Midwest scene, is just kind of a bunch of gym rats who just are so obsessed with the sport that it's worth being maybe bored more frequently than not. But I do think there can be a very strong like culture creep where unless you're really driven to find your ceiling, the ceiling average is a little more, doesn't move as much. It's harder to like break through because it's like there's not that many people that are like trying to raise the ceiling, whereas like in Colorado or Salt Lake or whatever, it's like, oh, you're just surrounded by the best. You're surrounded by Olympians and World Cup athletes and all of that. So it's just, and then you're also surrounded by rock, and like the culture is just much more performance based, whereas like the Midwest, it's a little more like casual in my experience.
Okay.
One question that brings up for me, when there's a big fish, little pond scenario where some people are, the best climber in their hometown, and then they move to Salt Lake to start their World Cup career and realize that they're not, they're not top 20 in the gym in Salt Lake at any given time, let alone on the World Cup stage. And that can be kind of demoralizing for people to look around and see all these people who could be top 10 at the World Cup, and they're just the people that are in the gym with them. Was that a tough adjustment for you when you initially moved out of the hometown?
Surprisingly, not really. Even on my team, I kind of learned to just do my own thing pretty early. So when it came to training on teams I didn't spend much time on ABC because I was on that for a year. I don't know. It didn't really, I'm sure it like got to me, but I don't remember it wasn't something that made me kind of take my foot off the pedal. It was maybe like, damn, like I thought I was whatever, but I was still placing well in Colorado. and I'm just like, all right, like I'm just gonna keep pushing. So that never really got to me too much.
Yeah,
It
can.
does.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
could also be kind of motivating for a lot of people, but it sounds like it was more just a different set of like a different environment. So be it. Keep doing your own thing. Keep your head
Yeah,
down. Work hard.
yeah, that was kind of what it's been for me. Is like, I mean, that feeling is sort of like, I mean, especially now, like you just open up Instagram and you're like, oh Jesus, I'm not anything. Awesome. This is cool. So I think social media is kind of just always, that feeling is always there anyway. It's just not like you suddenly, like you can always be the small fish if you really want to be now. Like you can look anywhere and be the small fish. I mean, I'm a part of a few group chats on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I did like a couple 12s, and then I open up my phone. I'm like, oh, Noah just did 8 V12s. Ben Kim just flashed like 3 V13s. And I'm like, all right,
campus
sweet. Like,
13s.
nice.
Ben Kim is a menace. That's
dude, it's obscene. I mean, Sean's like, yeah, it's absurd.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's actually get into the comp.
Getting more specific into the comp itself, South Dakota, is that a place that you've climbed before? Did you hear about the comp and got excited?
That's my third time doing that competition, actually. Back in 2021, I think. I moved from Portland back to Des Moines. No, that's later. I moved from Colorado back to Des Moines, and for handful of reasons, and that's when I was like, all right, I'm getting back into competitions again. Let's look around for comps. So North American Cups are obviously on my mind, and then this local comp showed up, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna go win $500 because I just came out of like finals at nationals, and I'm like, in the least arrogant way possible, I'm gonna go win $500.
I'm super on board. We were talking a second before we started recording about how many comps there are in the Northeast, and I've talked to some high-level climbers who, it is a sustainable source of income for them because they can compete every weekend, rely on that cash purse, or at least fight for it. And it's, it might not be their full livelihood, but it makes a dent in what kind of lifestyle they're able to live over the course of the summer. If they save that money well. So, like for a professional
Man, do I need to
athlete,
go
like,
to the Northeast more? Shit.
dude, there's so many comps, but I got to tell you, it's not easy to walk away with that money anymore.
Yeah, I mean, when the first comp of this I'll call it, of the season, they had was an $11,000 cash purse or something.
Yeah, it was fat. It was crazy.
And in order to make finals, you were looking at, I think there was V14 climbers. Like you had to be climbing V14 or higher to make the male finals. It was pretty stiff. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I did a huge string of competitions in like 2020, like late 2022, but basically 2023. I mean, pretty much like that. I competed so much, and I did a few comps on the East Coast and the Northeast. I did a Cliffs Cup, and I did
right.
The
I think you did Dark Horse. I saw you at the.
I did both. Yeah, I did a Dark Horse, and then I did the finale as well. Finals consisted both of all three of those. I think consisted of Austin Hoyt, Adam,
Ben Kim,
and I don't remember Ben Kim being.
He was. I live streamed.
Which Dark Horse was?
Ben has been in at least the last two Dark Horses, and I'm pretty.
I remember beating Ben.
Okay. Oh,
at least in like 2022's Dark
2022.
Horse.
No, he was not in 2022.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I don't remember going up against him because I don't think I would have won. But yeah, I did a huge string of comps, and like, yeah, I do remember. I was wanting to do more on the East Coast, but like, just didn't have the time, or I think I started burning out really hard.
Yeah, it can happen, man. I'm our European correspondent. I was living in Amsterdam last spring, and I competed 5 out of 6 weekends that I was in Amsterdam, and it burned me out pretty bad. And that's like purely for the love of the game. There's no livelihood on the line, and it's like it gets to you.
Yeah. But yeah, so back to South Dakota.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, that's my third season. That's my third year doing that one. So I took a few years off and then did it obviously this year and then last year.
I'm gonna let Basim ask about how the qualifying round went, but I'm curious what brought you back to this one specifically. Is there anything about like that gym, that vibe, that community, that comp in particular that they think, or that you think they do well that brings you back?
I love competing, as stressful as it can be. I do love the complex nature of what that game is. It's sort of just, it is a lower stakes, but higher pressure, I guess, training environment where it is a good opportunity for me to just check in with where my head game is at, just where my skills are at, whatever. Like, in no means am I in like peak comp shape right now, but it's a nice opportunity to see where I'm at. Am I happy with like how training is going, whatever. But it's a little bit just for fun. I mean, of course I want to win. Of course I want to win. But it's sort of like a ramp up in stress proofing for the season. And it's local, and I enjoy there's some pretty good setters in the in the Midwest that, I mean, obviously like Nick is here, but there's even some more like underground people that I'm like, you guys do a really good job. And so some of the setters are there, but it's just an opportunity to be in a competition environment, whether it's a huge one or a small one. The emotions and the feeling of it is pretty similar, and it just gives me an opportunity to check in with where I'm at.
No, it was really well set.
Yeah.
I mean, the setting style, especially from a comp set standpoint, they were on point on all fronts, from slabs all the way through the dynamic, and even making you guys kind of think a little bit. I don't think anyone was just walking through and flashing everything. And there was only that one, I guess the hardest climb, the blue one on the 45. Was there only one ascent of that? Or
yeah, Sean.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That didn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of, being East Coast. I know the East Coast scene, and even ventured all through Canada for a lot of their comps. Seeing the quality of sets, I was very impressed. By what they had to offer.
Yeah, it kind of going all the way back to like the Midwest culture, just consistently leveled up more and more. The setting is just getting better and better, and like there's more and more very gifted athletes that are coming out of the Midwest. I mean, like Eric Schmiel, even though he's sort of a Salt Lake trader, no, he needed to get out of Roca. But Barrick Miller, who placed third, he's very gifted. The Midwest can produce some like very good climbers, but the scene is just getting better and better, which is like really cool to see, especially as someone who has resided in mostly the Midwest, or who's from the Midwest. It's cool to see. The better that every small competition gets, the better every event gets, the more prepared are myself and athletes at gyms, whatever, the more realistic environment they're going to experience at nationals, or more and more. So yeah. I'm happy it's getting more intense.
Yeah. And the only one thing that I noticed that kind of caught me off guard was on the female side during qualifiers. From an open standpoint, there were only 5 women who actually tried for open, and I was like taking it. So basically, if you showed up and open for female, you made it. But I mean, all 5 of them were very strong climbers, and I was just shocked to see that. Like to see them, those 5 be so strong, and like literally like not have anyone else even think about trying for open. Even like advanced wasn't too heavily loaded for on the female side. I was just kind of taken aback by that, seeing that on the East Coast you'll have 25 plus females trying, vying for an open spot in finals. But just to see just 5 crushers, we're coming in, we're going in, and regardless of whether or not they have more climbers, I felt like their level was up there to really be competitive.
Yeah, it really does seem like the Midwest in particular seems to have this like very skewed, like there doesn't seem to be like a really like built out distribution curve of like there's a few really strong climbers and a ton of beginners. It really just seems to be like just like very intro, and then you have like the rest of the scene is like right here. It's very interesting, but that does seem to be changing.
Yeah, cool.
With time.
I would say that pretty accurately describes the scene in the Northeast like 5 to 6 years ago, where we had trouble filling the open. We still do sometimes have trouble filling the open category depending on the gym, and and depending on where we are in the season. But for a long time, it was that like everybody was at kind of a similar level, and then there were like the 6 men, 6 women that were in every finals, and you knew exactly where each of them was going to place.
It's a wealth distribution curve right now.
Yeah. And then over time, and as the sport has evolved and more people have gotten into it and facilities have gotten better, that distribution has evened out more. And it sounds like the same is going on in the Midwest. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool. And so qualies looked good. I mean, how did you feel about qualifiers other than not getting the hardest climb? I mean, you look strong.
Yeah, it was. I mean, if you guys have been keeping up with my Instagram at all, I've just been board climbing for like 4 months. So a lot of my skills, which I knew they were going to be rusty, and they were, and that is always a bit like, fuck, fine. I knew this. I'm still mad about it. I knew it going in, and I was still a little irritated that I was a little bit rusty. I don't know. I went into finals in third. It's like I could get really nitpicky about it if you want, but I mean, it was good. I definitely felt my height helped me on like some things, and then I definitely was like the blue one. I definitely felt my I didn't fit the box all that well. So that was a little bit like, okay, I gotta work around this. But once Sean got it, I sort of lost the interest to commit to it, because I'm like, I know I'm in finals. This climb is really hard. I really only gain ego points if I do this. But now I don't even really gain all that much ego points if I do this, because I'm only matching Sean. So I'm like, I'll just wait until finals.
Yeah, I mean, energy, right? Save the energy.
But I was a little bit annoyed I didn't get the double clutch. I'm like, damn, I need to get better at this stuff. I was a little bit, I mean, I always get in my head during competitions at some point in the round, maybe like before or after. Maybe if it's a red point comp, you actually have the opportunity to get in your head and then get yourself out, which is actually one reason I really like red point rounds. Is you still have the time pressure, but you have a moment where you can like feel good and then start to not feel good, and then you kind of like spiral a bit, but you get better at getting out of that under a time constraint with a red point round, as opposed to like a 4-minute round. Like if you start spiraling in a 4-minute round, it is so brutal to get out of it. So one thing I do like about red point rounds is you get more time to learn how to get yourself out of a bad headspace. So I always get a little bit in my head where I just start like nitpicking everything, but it was fun. I felt like the quality round boulders were set very well, and it was a nice spectrum of things. There's a cool there's like the blue cordo like swing and press in the wall.
Yeah.
That one pissed me off. That was a struggle, but I was happy to get it.
Yeah.
All in all, I was very happy with the qualifier round.
Yeah,
I think it was very good.
The blue one was definitely the most intriguing climb of the set.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was looking at it and I'm trying to figure out where this climb's going, and then I'm like, there's no way it goes over there. I mean, it was and it was watching. Essentially, everyone spent time slowly unlocking, and it was like a collaborative, attempt. Everyone just kind of working out little details, and it was only like I think like 2, maybe 3 different ways to kind of get onto that volume, and then of course Hail Mary for the actual top was kind of insane as well. But yeah, cool finals. let's chat about finals. Coming into finals of third, right? And so sounds like the headspace was good going into it. Save a little bit of energy without trying to get that hardest climb. Yeah. And then so let's talk about the first climb.
Yeah. Looking at it, it was a pretty just straightforward kind of crimp hard. Yeah. I mean, I did look at a lot of those holds. I'm like, okay, there's definitely a lot of like subtlety to these holds. So I spent quite a bit of time just trying to figure out like where good sections of the holds were going to be, just so I could like, there's always like some amount of ambiguity that you have to allow for. Like it's pretty rare that uh, is going to go exactly how you think it is. So I just try to like just narrow my options down to where I'm like, all right, I'm pretty sure it's like these within this area. So like there's like a sloper hold on it, and that had like a lot of different like bubbles. And I'm like, I just want to make sure I've seen as much as I can. Because another like one thing that does happen, especially in Midwest finals, is it tends to turn into a flash round or an attempts game. So I know that any flashes really help. And that's the case on like really high level stages. But with Sean or Barrick, it's like, and in the Midwest, it's like, all right, I really just need to flash. It's not just focusing on top necessarily. So I took my time with that one and just tried to make sure I had a very decisive path forward. And yeah, so the sloper hold was like a little bit ambiguous, which I actually wish more holds were like that. I kind of miss that within the old school hold sets where it'd be like really good somewhere and like really bad elsewhere. But now we just have these like really nice shapes that are just kind of just homogenous and just the same. But that also allows for like a lot of unique, interesting things to happen off of it. But there's something nice to the like, ooh, I found this little better bit. And I knew matching the finish of that climb was going to be finicky just because it had like 4 different spots. So it was a little bit like I just got to go for one and see. But I really liked the movement of it. I liked the kind of like floating campus where you like come out like this and then you have to like unwind and match. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, just a pretty straightforward crimp and crimp. Yep, just
hard.
Just grab. Just crimp hard.
Yeah. Crimp hard and like the floating and I was watching them as, going into, they kind of had it set and then they foreran it and then they were like, no. And then they, moved some holds, took some holds away. They knew they needed to do something because there's only, once again, 3 finals climbs. That's a whole nother conversation. But when you talk about creating separation, you have to make sure that not everyone's going to just walk through that one or any of the climbs for that matter. But, of course, they wanted to get a few tops here and there. And so you did flash it, right? And
yeah, I flashed, and that was why I won.
Right. Yeah, you flashed that one.
I knew that when I walked back and I think Barrick flashed.
Yes.
I flashed. So as soon as I flashed, I'm like, all right, like I heard Sean didn't. And I'm like, I think I just won.
Right.
Because I knew he was kind of in his head about it. He was talking about like how pumped his forearms are. So I'm like, all right, he's still in, but I'm like, I think I just need to hold steady here. Oh man, the final game is so fun. It's such a fun space. But yeah, like that was the difference maker. I remembered a foot that Sean didn't, and at the end of the day, that single attempt is what made the difference.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely for three only having 3 finals climbs, the separation was really really close when it came down to the actual podium. But like because getting into the second climb, that slab was god awful. It was brutal. I mean,
I really liked it. Well, I thought they did it. Yeah, it was
it was a beautiful climb.
I know what you mean. Like by God,
yeah.
That was a surprisingly tricky climb. Like the position that blocked foot right before I like leaned over, that put my like knee in. It was like really difficult to like stand up and then let myself fall because it wasn't like my knee was facing like this way where I could move this way. It was actually, I had to like stand like kind of straight and then turn my right hip into the wall a little bit because I couldn't unwind out of there. So it was weird to like slowly learn to fall over enough. Yeah, it was, the start position was also surprisingly weird. I was expecting to just kind of pull on and move out of it right away, but I actually had to take quite a bit of time to just figure out how to get my foot in the right spot to unwind. But then after I did it once, I was like, okay, I know how to do this now. But yeah, it was a great climb. I am sad I didn't have more time on it, but
4 minutes.
really good I got zone. But yeah, it was a surprisingly tricky zone. But very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fight just for zone, and that's essentially what that climb was. Essentially, who can get to zone the fastest? Because I mean, because like you said, it was such a huge learning curve just to start and then get over to get to zone. And we're talking 8 or 9 attempts per. Like a lot of people were making just multiple attempts just to get off the start and just get across to the next. And then it's like, hey, I got this, so it was very PC. And then I think by the time the very few, I think only 3 of you actually got to the zone.
Yeah, I think we did only get 2 or 3 zones off that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. Like as I got closer and closer, I kind of felt like the kind of energy like building, and I felt like I would like squeeze way harder than I needed to with like my legs, and I'm like, I need to just chill. And then as soon as I like relaxed more, I settled into the position and was able to fall over and stick it. But I definitely, the next day I'm like, I really shouldn't have sore adductors right now, but like I kind of have sore inner thighs from the just, I want to do this climb,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I tensed up like way more than I needed to, which is interesting.
Yeah. No, it was, and I think, everyone started to unlock it and fall off of, pass it on at like 30 seconds left. And you can see the look, and it was just like, do I want to try it again? And it was, and I think for those who tried, it was a hurried attempt. And of course you had to take that way slower and it was actually, it was 4 minutes, and there was no 4+. It was just 4 minutes straight. And I didn't realize that until they started really counting down and people were dropping. And so in the case of that one, like 30 seconds left, you're like, if you wanted to actually do that right, you needed more than 30 seconds to properly
Yeah,
get there.
it's 4 minutes only is pretty punishing. Like if you brush at all, it's like that's 30 seconds gone. I don't remember if I brushed that at all. I
Yeah.
might have just gotten on right away. Just because I'm like, I value more. If I did brush, then this doesn't actually count. But I value more attempts than I do like the like slight amount of friction I might get from brushing. Just because when I looked at that climb, I'm like, I vaguely know what to do, but whenever I have a climb that I'm like, I don't really know what to do, I tend to just get on right away because I'm like, I just need information, and just sitting here trying to puzzle it out isn't going to get me as much information as just getting on. And while flashes do matter, I knew based on the crowd and based on the people coming back that no one had flashed. So as soon as that was the case, it's like, all right, just getting zone or just getting top matters more than trying to flash, trying to whatever. Then I just go into like, if I don't know what to do, then I just switch into, I just need information now. So I try a little bit more rapid fire. And it's a slab. I don't need to like conserve energy as much. I just need kind of cast a wide net and then refine from there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then, I mean, and sometimes that information tells you where you need to actually brush versus just brushing a hole that is got, don't really use, or it's really positive in general. Cool. Yeah. And then, so yeah, the slab was brutal, but yes, it was really well set and great to see you guys. For those who actually did workout zone, I would have loved to have seen at least one top on that, because the top, watching them run that was another spicy top as well. So, but then getting into the third climb, I was very disappointed that no one actually did the intended beta, and just like kind of talk just about forerunning. We're sitting aside when watching. for those of you who don't know at home, I don't remember what his name was. The guy who qualified second was the only person who actually tried the intended beta.
Pierre.
Is the lache to the volume on the wall
and then jump back.
And I tell you, they sat down. I'm like, oh, that's going to look great on the highlight reels and all that. And then so one of them looked at it and was like, let me just try. And then I tell you, they spent 20 minutes trying to lache and then grab, the whole, essentially what you did, the BetaBreak. Apparently they thought that was good enough. And then you came in and you got that, your second or third try on that?
Something like that. Yeah. I tried their beta for like 3 attempts, I think.
Yeah.
With these local comps, one thing that I do try and do is I treat them, like I was talking about earlier, I treat them as like training experiences and just kind of a training day. So if they have an intended beta, I'll oftentimes try that for a little bit because that's something to learn. Like while using my height and using like other skills to kind of break the climb, I will be a better athlete for becoming more well-rounded and trying different skills that maybe I'm not inclined to. So I was like, all right, let's see if there's something here. But as I went for it more, I'm like, I think I can just catch this and lache to it. And that ended up being way better. Looking at that volume foot, I saw that and I'm like, I know what they want me to do, but this is so far. Like it's so far. And then every time I would like jump to it, I'm like, this is really, really far away. This is a very like violent, like that hold is so good that you just slam into the wall. I'm like, I'm just gonna jump. I'm just gonna campus to it or lache to the slopers.
Yeah, it was interesting because like it is far and it was down, right? So you're talking about just a brutal amount of force that you have to absorb and then transfer back, towards where you just came from. And so, yeah, a couple people ultimately made the decision you made. I think only 2 of you actually caught that.
Yeah, only me and Sean.
Yeah, you and Sean caught that. And then your heartbreaking that was, and the worst part is that both you and I forget how the female was, I mean, simultaneously got to the top and fought for the match and peeled off, I'm going to say it like the same exact time. And the crowd was just like devastated. We're like, no.
Yeah, I dropped the finish on the boulder last year too.
Okay.
Where I didn't top. I just fumbled it.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually something that my coach my coach, I'll just say my coach, has pointed out that sometimes I do a little bit of like hesitation at the top, and that's came through at a climb and like Pan Ams, that came through at a climb here, and looking back at it, I'm like, that happened there as well. So that's something I gotta iron out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it looked like you were almost contemplating just cutting and campusing and matching. And then you
I thought about it.
Getting fidgety with the feet, and then you like ultimately ended up losing.
Yeah, I thought about it, but it was just like that, just like sagging underneath that. I just felt like so long. Like I wanted to be straight arm with it, but like that just felt like too much leverage to play with, and it just felt really risky. So I tried to go for like a little hook, like pincer with the foot, but then that ended up like I ended up pulling this way, and that sent me off the usable part of that hold. So I think a campus match probably would have been the way, but I was so pumped once I got there. Yeah. I think that was honestly the main reason I didn't campus match, was because like I got there and I like thought about it. I'm like, I am losing it. I'm gassing out so hard right now.
Yeah. I mean, you made and people don't think so, or you may not see it, but like those lache attempts, those swing attempts, I mean, it's a very powerful move, and you're really clamping down. And then the catch those, like I think, if you would have gone to that as opposed to trying the intended, 3 attempts later, it could have made the difference between the top.
Yeah. Or just trying a little bit harder on my previous attempt before that.
Yeah.
Because I got up there and I'm like, do I want a high foot or a low foot? But because the double under the it was just one undercling and then a sloper on the right hand, on the left hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I could reach from the volume and just have 1 foot high, because the second high foot I just felt like so small boxed there that it was like really hard to generate. But the low foot was too far. So the second time I'm like, I just need to get the high foot, because it's really uncomfortable until you let go with one hand, and then it feels way nicer. But before that, you're just like so tight, or at least like for me, I was just like so small box in that position that I really didn't want to throw too high feet. But it's just better on an undercling. Just get high feet. It's just better.
But it was enough, right?
It was enough, barely
to get the podium. So you come in at third and then end up on top, and you get to head home with a little bit more cash in the pocket.
Yeah,
so,
which is very nice.
Yeah, very nice. Very
yeah,
nice.
it was a great event. It was nice to. I think Sean and I have a developing rivalry, where Boulder Fest last year, same thing. He timed out getting a zone that would have made him win, and then I won by a zone.
Right.
And so this is the second time he's barely not beat me, which is pretty fun. I mean, I used to coach Sean. I mean, I can't take credit for anything he is now. Like I pretty much just like, I tried to get him to rest or tried to get him to do these things, but we had a few conversations. I'm like, all right, man, like I'm just gonna let you do your thing, and that's okay. And I mean, look at him now. Now I'm just like, okay, well, I got to do a little bit more of what Sean's doing. But yeah, so it's fun to have a bit of a rivalry with him.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, we see a lot of that over here as well. But yeah, it's nice to have someone that's going to push you, a friendly rivalry. Your boys, you go out and crush it, and yeah, bragging rights.
Yeah, but it is a bit of that. It's fun keeping the young guns down in second and third.
Just that little edge of friendly smack talk goes such a long way for the scene,
It does. I've definitely had a few conversations with people where climbing needs to be maybe a little bit more rude in a way, a little bit more smack talk.
Yeah.
We're a very kind and everyone's welcome. There's no like, oh, fuck that guy, I'm gonna beat him. Fuck that guy. So
we get a little bit of
little bit of drama is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was that Tristan Chen video of forever ago, like climbing needs a villain, right? I don't think that was the point, the exact point.
No, that was talking about like, Matt. God.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was a disaster.
That guy. Ooh,
yeah.
Something.
Yeah. But having, I'm not gonna say a heel, but like having some sort of show to follow in addition to the climbing just adds so much to the spectator element. Like if climbers were doing call outs on Instagram before the round, that would be great.
That was fun.
I would be so invested.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. I think I want to do that stuff a little bit more. I think there's a strange vulnerability to doing things like that, where like I think climbers, I don't know if this is, I'll just speak for myself. I think I need to get more comfortable at kind of playing with what I did with Frontier, where I'm like, who's going to win? Is it going to be me? Is it going to be Berg? Is it going to be Sean? I think I need to get more comfortable doing that. One, because it's just sort of fun. Two, I think it kind of gets like, you don't know if you're going to win. You can like want to win, and you can say you want to win. And then if you don't, like, that's fine. Like, it's Kamoa and everyone, in their head, they're like, I'm going to win. I want to win. And if you say it and it doesn't happen, nothing really like changes other than the thing you wanted didn't happen. But I think there's something more light and playful about being like, I'm going to win. I expect to win. And then if it doesn't happen, you be a good sport about it. But I think that's kind of calling like, I'm going to do the climb now, or like, watch this. Like that's way more fun. And that's something I think I could develop as an athlete. Just like I think it kind of makes you more comfortable with failure in a way, because you just start being like, nah, it's going to be this one. And then if it doesn't happen, it's fine. Like it's not a big deal. It's fine.
I mean, it happens. I mean, I know, my son Xavier, he climbs. We climb together all the time. And I can't tell you how many times he's been on something and I'm like, oh, like this and this and this. And he's like, you can't do that. And I'm like,
Watch me.
watch me. Right. And that's kind of the same concept. Whether you get it or not, it doesn't matter. Challenge accepted. Right. And I'm going to do this. And sometimes it goes and other times, and most of the times it doesn't. But, it's still that fun, playful moment where if you do get it, it was, an amazing moment. If you don't get it, it was still a very fun moment. And that's really what it comes down to as well.
Yeah. And then you just get to be like, well, I'll get you guys next time or whatever.
Right.
Like you
Exactly.
just, how you respond to that failure, whatever. It's, you could just, if you're like, no, I'm going to get it this time. And then you get it this time. I mean, I was like playing basketball with my roommate Ian, and the number of times we were just like, watch this, and then we would miss, and be like, watch this, and then it's just fun. It's just more fun to do, and I think it helps you be a little bit more comfortable with the like vulnerability of being like, I know I want to win, I want to do this thing, and then the kind of, oh, it didn't happen, oh well, like I'll try again. That I feel like there's a comfort with that vulnerability that is useful to like get a little bit more that is useful to get more used to.
Yeah. And I mean, it's every sport too. Like,
yeah,
you watch like mixed martial arts, perfect example, like UFC. I mean, these guys spend an entire whatever beating the crap out of each other. But what most people don't know is that, after the round's over, they're out hanging out, having dinner, and it's do what you got to do, win or lose. Everyone's still, buddies at the end. And that's really what it boils down to. But yeah, I mean, I think that's maybe we'll have to start some instigating when we get the names on the rounds and start posting some social and hitting some ads and seeing who's rooting for who. Get that going in the chat too as well.
Yeah, I mean, I
some
think
ideas to throw around for
it's
that.
fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
And like I looked at my poll after that round, and I thought about posting to my story being like, I expect exactly 71 apology DMs.
You have to do that next time.
But
that's so good.
But I'm like, I don't know how like heady
that would be perceived. Dude,
yeah.
Lean in.
Love it.
Lean in.
Yeah. Embrace
but
that.
Yeah, I mean it was, everyone was like, it's gonna be Sean. I'm like, yeah, all right. Fine.
Well, Sean Flash.
I see who my followers are.
Right.
Fine.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Agreed. I think a little bit more fun in the sport, a little bit more trash talking. Yeah. Really. And so you're actually coming back off of a pretty bad injury at Pan Am, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I did, like, it's probably my first major injury.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if it was super severe. It just took and is taking so long to heal. So I got a lumbrical strain at my first round, or my first climb in finals at Pan Am's on my last attempt. So annoying. And for like a good 2 months, climbing was like pretty off of the table. But then it's just been it has been so hard to like, I would rehab it, and I would, it took me a long time to like actually figure out what was going on. And eventually a friend of mine's a doctor. He got an ultrasound and he's like, it's probably this. It's nice having a doctor friend. Yeah. Just able to pull out an ultrasound from his bag, be like, let's take a look. And we eventually like found a really good way to specifically load the lumbricals, because like the palm just has the fingers and hands just have so much going on that it was like really difficult to like narrow it down to like actually target the tissues that I needed to rehab it. But eventually we got there, and I worked with another PT to kind of, because I was also dealing with some like T synovitis in my, like, right as this I thought was getting better, this flared up. So then I'm like, so like 3 months after this happened, and I'm like, Jesus, like I can't really climb without it hurting, or like some things would hurt, or this was feeling good, but then it's like it went through a period of like getting quite a bit worse. So yeah, I'm now pretty close to being like very like healthy again, but it's been a journey. Yeah, Vale was even Vail back in June, I was like, is this even worth doing? But I really felt like I needed to do Vail just because one, that competition's awesome, but I was definitely not like super healthy in Vail. But as long as I didn't get injured, I was like, all right, I'm okay with this. Like that was a small goal that the PT and I set was go compete, do what you can, but if you come out of it with not being injured, that's a win.
It's a win.
Yeah. Or not getting more injured, then like that's a win. But it's such a hard balance, like competing and gaining experience while trying to like not re-injure yourself is hard. But it's like you need the experience to keep improving. But it's been a very annoying 9 months of an injury. But yeah, so I've been coming off of an injury. Yeah, it's an experience. It has some like good things, but part of me is like, I could have just done without. I would have been fine without. But I think it's been a very good kind of self-reflective time.
People can relate to that for sure, me included. And then so you're talking about this local comp being a good kind of training proving ground for things to come. So like what's on the horizon for Simon?
Pretty much just a lot of board climbing still for the next well, actually, I mean, it's going to be board, like my main staple in my training, actually the only thing in my training right now really is mostly just board climbing because I need to get strong again. Well, not that you guys know what I mean. I need to get stronger. I'm already pretty strong, but I need to get stronger. And it's just a great tool. It's just so good. So I'll be mostly doing that, but I have Boulder Fest coming up, and then I have North Mass coming up as well in October. And then there's a few, I mean, Open Nationals is the main comp that I want to peak for, or be able to show up for. Hopefully that I can just do nationals and then team trials and see where that kind of gets me this year. So there's a few other like pro comps between now and then, but yeah, it's mostly pro comps and it'll still be pretty much strength training until maybe like September, November. But yeah, that's what's coming up on the comp train for me. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, excited to see how the rest of the season pans out for you. And
yeah, me too. I mean, it seems like third at Vail is nice.
Off to a pretty solid start, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I've done, I mean, obviously, like, I've done a few like little local comps, and those have been fine. So competing is weird. Like, I was really not expecting to be able to get a podium at Vail, just all things considered. And after that, I'm like, all right, I'm a good competitor. Like it's taken me a long time to really be able to be like, I may not be the strongest, I may not be like the best, but I am good at the game. And competing really, like Vail really like showed that, because I mean, there was people who podiumed at nationals at that event, and some of them didn't make it out of like semis. And it's like, it's never just a singular thing that makes you win. It's never just like, oh, this person was just way stronger. It's way more, I mean, we all know it's way more nuanced than that. And it's just a good reminder of like, despite me being injured and maybe not as strong as I need to be or want to be, it doesn't mean that just because that's there, I'm going to go in and perform badly. Like, I'm in a good enough position strength wise that I can hold my own in most high end events, which is cool. Yeah. So yeah, Vail was interesting. Vail was weird. I just showed up and did my thing, which was awesome.
Yeah, I was surprised to see you make third. I was like, isn't he like coming off of like a really serious injury, and then like placing third at Vail was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very shocked. I was really stressed going into that event. I really was not wanting to be there, actually, in at least like the previous few days, because I'm like, why am I here? Like, this is expensive. Like, can I actually get meaningful experience out of this? But I'm like, I can't not compete out of fear. Like, if I'm genuinely too injured, then it's fine. But if my concern is that like, oh, these people have expectations, I've done so well at these events previous years. If I'm just scared of knowing the truth about where my climbing is at right now, that is just not a good enough reason to not go. Usually strong emotions are what indicate I need to explore something further. And I'm like, damn, I need to go to Vail. I need to compete. So I kind of talked with a few people like before the comp, got kind of all my worries out, and then was just able to be where my feet were planted that day and just continued to try to be there. And it worked. I was able to make my like 4th final in a row at that comp and podium again. So I'm very happy with, that event was cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, there's some great little nuggets of sports psych wisdom in there for anybody watching at home. Really great stuff. Like follow where your emotions are, be where your feet are. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Listen, we've been going for over an hour now.
Yeah, wow.
We don't want to take up too much of your day, but always time
I mean, I am free to keep chatting if you guys want to, but if you guys need to get to other things, then no worries.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have you on for a part 2.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
We've got plenty more to say, but in the did you have something to say?
No, I was just going to fill in basically what you're going to say.
Yeah. In the meantime, we like to make sure we got time to plug sponsors. Any companies that you're working with that you want to send people towards?
I'm working with Zigzag currently. They are a small crash pad, mostly a crash pad and like chalk bag company. Yeah, they're great environment. They are very into the environment and sustainability. So I've been working with them for like about a year. Yeah, they're just, if you like supporting small businesses who are looking to do things a little bit differently, I would suggest checking out like their crash pads, and their chalk bags are great. And they're just about to release chalk buckets, which is very exciting.
They just released.
But so if you're looking to maybe try something a little bit different, they're a good company to look at.
Yeah, they're also
that's it for me.
They're also a big sponsor for the comp as well.
That's right. Forgot about that too. Yeah, they sponsored the Frontier, and they did like I forget actually what that was called. Yeah, they did pretty much certain climbs. If whoever sent it, they would then donate money to a ocean removal or ocean plastic removal.
Right.
So
yeah,
like
for every
company
on that climb was like, I think, a
pound of plastic removed.
Yeah, a pound of plastic.
Yeah. It was like if somebody flashed it was like 5 pounds or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah,
love that.
Yeah, they're a cool company, and they're actually, they have some pretty innovative. Their crash pads are very, very interesting. I've climbed outside a few times with them, and they work really well together. So it's actually a very nice change for what crash pads are now. Like they're actually different, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Crash pads have been largely the same for a long time with like little innovations here and there. And the difference tends to be who's affordable and comfortable. So yeah, like people who are taking an environmental stance and like taking their own approach to things rather than just making their version of the same thing. I always appreciate.
Yeah, it's cool that they're embarking on a journey together, and yeah, I'm happy to be working with them. They're a good company.
And where can people find you online? I know you mentioned your Instagram, and everybody should go there.
Mostly just Instagram.
Yeah. Everybody go follow so you can see some smack talking before the next comp.
Yeah, and just some long ramblings. Random essays will come out, long captions. Too much reading for such a short attention span app. But it's what I like to do.
It's good stuff. I mean, we've had quite a few World Cup climbers on, and it's interesting to get perspective. Like, so right post comp, you gave the breakdown and for each climb, and it's always nice to get that perspective for people who want to get into the mentality and understand and better themselves when it comes to their competitive climbing. So it's there for those who need it. So we appreciate that. Don't feel like it's too much. It's never enough.
Good. Yeah.
So,
that's good. That's good.
Anything that isn't found my flow and let go of expectations, as the caption, like anybody who can get away from that, I really appreciate. So thank you for your
depth.
Does
drive me a little crazy.
It's annoying because it's correct, right? Like went without
true.
expectations, like, found my flow. But like, how many times do we need to hear it?
Did like that's sort of what like started pushing me towards talking more long form. Was I would look at like all these athletes that are at the highest level and they're like, I had fun today. And that was it. And I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm like, that, like, come on, like, this is your job. Like, this is the thing you dedicate a ludicrous amount of time to. There's got to be more. Like, there's got to be more going on through your head than like, that was fun or that wasn't what I wanted. And I mean, I know I'm calling out like a lot of comp climbers there, but it's nice. It's always nice to hear that that's a welcomed thing.
Yeah, no, for sure, appreciate it, and it doesn't mean that every climber has to share all their thoughts.
No,
right?
No,
like, and if you're a World Cup climber and you like just posting the podium results and no words with it, like, power to you. Not everybody needs to like show all of their depth on social media. It doesn't have to be for everybody, but for the people that are willing to post more than, found my flow, I'm appreciative. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and it's like, if you want the app that we all use to be a more depthful, real space, actually add some depth and realness. Like, the number of times I hear people be like, oh, I hate how superficial this app is. And then I look at like the content they post. I'm like, it can be whatever you want it to be. Like, the app can be exactly how you want it to be. You just need to engage with how you would want it to be. So if you're tired of it being superficial, just make it not superficial on your end.
You are the algorithm.
The communities in climbing gyms go through a very similar thing where everybody is like, man, I wish my climbing gym had a better community. It's like, you're part of it. Go be a friend to somebody who is new.
Yeah.
Like, be a part of the community if you want the community to be good. If you want climbing Instagram to have depth, be the person who's providing some depth. Or if you're not providing, like, be the person who engages with it so that these professional climbers can use their Instagram as their business card. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plenty of soapbox to get on there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, people will go follow you now.
That'd be great.
And hopefully be part of the discourse. Simon, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure getting to hear from you.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
And for people who are watching, we've got plenty more beta breaks to come. The season is just getting underway, so make sure that you, I don't know, maybe subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah, what a concept.
Yeah, let these guys keep doing their thing. The comp climbing community really needs it, and we really appreciate anyone who is willing to take time out of their day to give us a platform and make us feel more special.
Because you are
and like a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, we're climbers trying to grow the sport, and that's really what we're here for.
So. No, we certainly appreciate it.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you again, Simon.
Of course.
And I think we are good to go. So we'll let you go, and there definitely will be a part 2 when we get to see, all the wonderful things that have come through this year. Hopefully, we'll see you more on, either Midwest, West Coast, wherever it may be. We're trying to expand this year out of the Northeast to get some more comps going here as well. So.
Come do Boulder Fest. Well, actually, that's a little too soon. That's like a week. That's like 2 weeks away.
Yeah, but maybe next year Boulder Fest. We're definitely doing the one over here. But yeah, go to Climbing Noise if you want to see where we're going to be. Climbing Noise.
ClimbingNoise.com.
ClimbingNoise.com. We're actually going to be adding all of the comps that are on Climbing Noise. Which ones BetaBreakers will be live streaming. Everyone's always warning, are you live streaming? You live streaming? You'll know now. So we'll have that. And so thank you everyone for joining. And like Tyler said, don't forget to subscribe and actually like the videos, comment, let Simon know if you should be smack talking everyone, pre-comments, whatever. Any engagement helps the channel.
I will anyway.
Yeah. Do it either way. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.